You guys, this book, it's a masterpiece. As you can see, it's Legendborn by Tracy Deonn, and it came out in September. I began reading this in September, and I decided to stop. And now I knew that I was in, I felt like I was in the place where I could really love this book. I picked it again, and I have to say that I love it. There's so many things going in this book that you can connect with, and there is so many things for you to learn about the Black story and changing yourself, wanting to be better, wanting to understand, wanting to to help, and for me it's been an amazing read. And I'm going to talk about all those things that for me has made this book unique. But first I'm going to offer this very brief summary. I'm not going to make any spoilers, so yeah. We are going to be following this main character called Bree, and she has just lost her mother. She's very young, and she feels cheated, that her time with her mother has been cut short. She feels all this rage, she feels all that pain inside, and for me that's something that was very relatable, because I lost my father when he was quite young, and I was young too. So I feel like all those things that are described in this book, that you feel like someone has shortchanged you, that you should have had more time with that person, and you began to work out why. And I felt like the place where the author was writing all these things, I suspected that she has felt the same loss. And when you end the book, and at the ending you have the author's notes, which I recommend that you read when you finish the book, because she talks about things that had happened to her and things that have inspired her to write this book. And for me they were amazing and helped me connect with the book even more. So yeah, that. And we have, as I was saying, this character. She comes from a place of loss, and she goes to this campus with her best friend called Alice. And when she gets into campus, they are in this party that was not supposed to happen. So she's breaking the law, and suddenly she begins to see strange things that no one else are seeing. So she begins to think that at the very beginning she's doubting what she's seeing. Maybe, I don't know, there's some kind of explanation. But then she gets thrown into this wall of the Legendborn people. And there is people who have these abilities of sensing Shadowborn, which are like demons that manifest in our world. And you have like this Arthurian legend come to life, because these people are organized like the Round Table and the Arthur legends, and all of it has a very heavy weight on the book. And the world building that Tracy has created, it's amazing. And that's why I want to be very brief in this summary, because I don't want to be saying too many things, because for me it was amazing to get into this book almost blind, only knowing that we have this main character who's a Black girl, has lost her mom, and she finds herself thrown into this world that makes her question like everything. And when I say that, it's because this book is going to be dealing with a lot of things, because we have these people who come from the Order, the Arthurian legend, which is magistrally the twist she has given it into this book. But also we are going to find this community of Black women that use a magic called root, and I love what they did, and this sense of connection, this sense of it's amazing. You have these two contrasts of how people use magic and how some of them use people too. So for me it was amazing, and I have to say that I love, as I say, the fact that you can feel the rawness of the pain that Bree feels. And also, as I said, I learned a lot about this book, about Black story, about things that I have never thought about, like, they cannot get back to more than 3 or 4 generations, because they were, uprooted from their lands and brought to America and used as slaves. So when they were free, they cannot, get far on their family tree, because it's cut. And also, it made me think a lot about when they enter some place, and it's like this silent racism. We are not supposed to be here. This place was built by people like you, but not for people like you. And they feel like this oppression. And when you have this kind of monuments, and they look at them and they see their people working, and it's like you could have chosen other things, or the elation that is still around, and you have these monuments to the guys and the you know, to the ones that were owners of plantations and things like that, and it's like, you know, I think it's like a slap in the face constantly, and you can understand Bree and you can empathize with her, and I love that this book made me open my eyes even more and learn things that I didn't know about. And I love that this book also deals with the trauma of being, you know, a descendant of slavery, about being abused, about imbalance of power, about how people use people without, you know, without even thinking that they are doing so. That's something that's horrible. And there's so many things going on in this book. It's amazing how it's a very, for me, it's a heavy book in the way that there is so many things that you have to learn from it. And also the story that the author creates, it's amazing. And it's a very incredible story. I loved every one of the characters. And I love, as I say, we have this character who's like an outsider because she didn't knew about this wall of the Legendborn. She didn't knew about the Scions, about the Basals, about anything. And she gets thrown into this wall because she thinks that maybe she can find what happened to her mother if she joins with them. But she doesn't plan on joining with them, really. But then she kind of falls in love with Nick, who's one of the main guys from the Legendborn, you know, legacy. And I love how she begins to, you know, to second guess herself, what I'm doing, who I am. And I love when she finds a psychologist. I love that this book normalizes the fact that when you are suffering, there's people who can help you with your mental pain, because, you know, mental health, it's something that you shouldn't overlook. And I love how normal is it in this book that even the father says you need help, and he makes her talk with this psychologist. And I love how openly the book talks about grief and about dealing with trauma, about the rage you feel when you lost someone, and the fact that you have to allow yourself to heal, that you need to come to that place in which you say, okay, I'm ready, I want to heal. And as I said, that really affected me because I went through all of that too. And for me, it was amazing to find this in this book because it has so much inclusivity, and even in that, for me, it was amazing. And I love that Bree has these people that are part of her community, the Black community. And I love when she talks about these kind of things with them. And I love how she, you know, learns more about her family, not only her mother, but her whole legacy. And how they help her and the root magic. And I love how it all, she is trying to find her place because, you know, she feels like she has to find who she is, and she has to do that for herself. She begins trying to find her place to be, and she tries to find out what happened to her mom, but then she realizes that she has to do things for herself. And there is so many more things that I want to say about this book because it has lots of things. I think that it must be like, you have to read this one. I mean, I love every minute of that. I mean, the world building, it's top notch. It's amazing. I love this Arthurian legend twist. I love how the people who are now living outside slavery, I love how they are trying to say, I am on my ancestors' shoulders. I am who I am today. I am where I am because of all of you. I love that connection with the ancestors that Black people always put in their books. For me, that's amazing. I love how the characters, all of them, are so fleshed out. I love the Merlin. I love Cell. Cell, for me, is an amazing character. It's one of the best. And I also love Bree. I love these two because they make very easy to empathize, and they have this position, this very unique and not always in a good way position in which you can understand what it means like to be an outsider, to be different, to have different air, or to have different skin. And for me, there were characters that made it very easy for me to bridge the distance and try not to understand what they are going through. It was like, for me, it was amazing that they were able to communicate with me and tell me that's what happened when you are different. And also we have Bree, that they are an amazing character, and I love that we also have this inclusivity in here because they are this character who are like, they are amazing. And yeah, what more? We have a range of characters who are amazing, and I love how some of them learn and adapt. I love how Bree says, I like to make them uncomfortable because they don't want us to be here, but we need to be here for them to learn and to be better. And I love that. I love this idea that we need to be better because we need. You know, it's real, it's a real need. We need to adapt, and we need to learn, and we need to be better, and we need to you know, to teach all the stupid ideas that we might still have on our heads. And I love the plot. I wasn't expecting any of this. I mean, I was like, what? I mean, yeah, it's amazing, and it all makes sense. And I feel like I have just finished it, and I want to read it again, and it's amazing. And yeah, I know that I'm being very vague about the plot and the summary of the book because I don't want to spoil anything for you. But yeah, if you like contemporary fantasy that is set in our world, and if you like books that make you think about prejudice and entitlement and white privilege, and if you want to know more about black story and about black people, if you want to, you know, to be awakened, and if you are looking for a book that's going to be like nothing you have ever read, and you want to be blown out of your mind, just pick this one. Even if my review doesn't make it justice, because I mean, this is a masterpiece. So yeah, pick it up. That's everything I can say. It's been one of the best books I have read this year. So yeah, I recommend this to you. Like, yeah, you have to read it. Thank you for watching. Bye.